All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Forget the dry, dusty history books for a second, because we're not starting there today. We are going to begin with a feeling of pure, absolute disbelief as we look into the unbelievable reality of Tsutomu Yamaguchi. Seriously, I want you to try and imagine this, miraculously surviving the single deadliest weapon ever unleashed in the entirety of human warfare. Twice. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a premise that sounds completely impossible, right? The sheer destructive power involved makes survival seem like this wild statistical glitch that could only ever happen in a sci-fi movie. But let's actually trace how this went down based on the historical record. Step 1, against literally all conceivable odds, you managed to survive the initial bomb. You were caught right in the middle of an unprecedented cataclysm, yet somehow you make it through that immediate blast alive. Then, in this unbelievable testament to human endurance, you gather whatever strength you have left. You're burned, you're severely injured, but you find a way to drag yourself onto a train heading home. You're just desperately seeking the one place that represents safety. Only to end up standing directly beneath the second atomic bomb, just 3 days later. I mean, it is a sequence of events so incredibly improbable that if you pitched it as a movie script, audiences would completely reject it for being way too unrealistic. Yet this actually happened. This is the fully verified story of Tsutomu Yamaguchi. And today, we're going to explore exactly why so many people, even when presented with the cold, hard facts, still struggle to believe this is real. Because, human nature naturally demands proof when we're confronted with something this extraordinary. So let's rewind a bit. Yamaguchi is a young engineer on a business trip. It's August 1945, and he's experiencing what seemed like a completely, totally ordinary morning in Hiroshima. People are commuting, the city is waking up, and the rhythm of daily life is proceeding exactly as it always had. Zero warning of what was about to happen. And then, suddenly, everything changes. A blinding flash. In a fraction of a millisecond, the entire visual world is just wiped out by this intense, incomprehensible light. We really need to pause here to try and wrap our heads around the absolute suddenness of that moment. And right on the heels of that flash, unimaginable heat. We're talking about the physical reality of the deadliest weapon in history making direct contact with a bustling living city. A sudden, violent spike in temperature that altered the environment in ways humanity had literally never experienced before. Then, silence. This heavy, agonizing, terrifying quiet sets in, right before the sudden, crushing realization of total destruction. That ordinary morning was just gone, replaced instantly by a completely unrecognizable landscape. But somehow, amidst all that complete devastation and against every statistical odd in the book, he survived. Now, it'd be super easy to think that a miraculous escape is where this story wraps up, right? But surviving that initial blast, that was honestly just the beginning. Just think about this timeline for a second, because the window here is agonizingly short. Day 1, the blast hits Hiroshima. By day 2, he's somehow boarding a train, severely burned, running entirely on adrenaline. Day 3, he makes it home, giving himself and his family this false hope that he is finally safe. And then, day 4 arrives, August 9th, Nagasaki. And this part is just mind-blowing to me. Despite his traumatic injuries, like the ultimate dedicated engineer, he actually goes into his office in Nagasaki. He stands there in his workplace, trying to tell his coworkers what he just saw happen in Hiroshima, but they simply don't believe him. They literally cannot fathom the scale of what he's describing. In fact, one of his bosses supposedly challenged him with a completely understandable question. He asked, how could one bomb destroy an entire city? And to be fair, the sheer reality of that weapon defied all conventional logic of the time. It was just beyond human comprehension. So here is the crucial, unbelievable point. Right at that exact moment of disbelief, literally while his colleague is doubting the reality of a single city-destroying weapon, another flash fills the room. The second atomic bomb detonates over Nagasaki. History repeating itself in the span of a single conversation. You'd almost expect some dramatic Hollywood ending here, but the reality of the aftermath is incredibly stark. He survived again. He managed to reunite with his family amid the ruins of a second destroyed city. And despite enduring severe, lifelong physical effects from the radiation, he just focused on survival. He quietly and methodically went about rebuilding his life. 2. Many years later, the Japanese government officially recognized him with this completely unique distinction, which really brings his profound story full circle. He was entered into the historical record as a documented survivor of exactly 2 atomic bombings, the unbelievable reality officially verified. Out of the millions of lives that were changed forever during August 1945, Tsutomu Yamaguchi's story stands almost entirely on its own. And it's not because he had some magical shield to escape tragedy, but because he endured it twice. He carried the unimaginable weight of 2 destroyed cities on his shoulders. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today, and I really want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Is history unbelievable because it gets exaggerated over time, or is it unbelievable simply because it is absolutely 100% true? Sometimes the actual verified facts way outpace our wildest imaginations. Keep that in mind the next time you encounter a piece of history that seems just a little too incredible to be real. Thanks for joining me, and keep seeking the truth.